Hello everyone, GoldenNova here. Duelist Nexus is almost out in the OCG, and I'm not talking about the auto-dueler, that's Dueling Nexus. I wonder if that branding is working out for him right now. Anyway, while many new themes are on the horizon, today I want to take the opportunity to talk about an older theme that's gotten a new wave of support, and considering all the dino stuff that's coming out around now, it couldn't have picked a better time. Premiering in the November 2011 core set, Photon Shockwave, Evols are a series of, as the name implies, evolving creatures that go from the lowly lizard crawling on their stomachs to the mighty dragons that rule the duel. And while the deck itself has had mixed success, some of its more powerful members have seen play in a variety of decks. And with its new support, that trend may come to pass once again. So let's muck about in the primordial soup, see which cards make for a natural selection, then find out how we can involve some killer creatures into the gene pool. It's time to embrace our inner Pokemon with Evols. Now, it's been about 2 years since Evols got new support, but you don't have to wait that long to get your next piece to support your thirst for Yu-Gi-Oh merch, thanks to today's sponsor, Buyee. You've probably seen them around the channel before, but just in case you missed it, Buyee is a website that helps you get all the cool stuff you could ever want right from Japan. Ever since I started using them, I've gotten my hands on acrylic displays that don't show up in the TCG versions of special products like Magnificent Mavens, to cards with rarities you've probably never seen before. You basically browse the selection of a bunch of stores like Mercari, Rakuten, and Yahoo Japan, submit your order, and Buyee goes and gets those items. Then, once it's all stored in their secure warehouse, you can have it all bundled together and shipped right to you. And while you can go out and get your hands on those new boxes of the OCG Duelist Nexus set for a chance to open up a holographic cosmic quasar dragon, you can also indulge any of your other nerdly pursuits, from figures to model kits. And there's never been a better time to get on board. Not only do new accounts that sign up with my link below get a 2,000 yen coupon code to use on whatever they want, there's also a coupon that's good until April 30th that takes 80% off international shipping fees for anything you buy from the Mercari store. And like Xyz material, those coupons stack, so don't delay. Sign up now, claim your coupon, and start getting all the cool trinkets you've been missing out on. Thank you once again to Buyee for sponsoring today's episode, and now, back to the video. So what's the deal with Evols? Well, they're a series of fire attribute monsters that span 3 different types. The reptile Evoltile, the dinosaur Evosars, and the dragon Evolzars, Well, despite dropping the ball on that last one, the idea is to mimic evolution by using our Evoltile effects to summon our Evolsaurs, which trigger effects when summoned by the effect of an Evoltile monster. Then, we leverage those monsters into Xyz material to make our Evolzars, which are all Xyz monsters. Oh, and they've all got little DNA strands in their tails. You know, for a bunch of animals, they've certainly got their branding on point. Let's kick things off with the Evoltiles, and we're starting with Evoltile Gefero, a level 1 monster with 200 attack and 400 defense, and when this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the grave, you can target an Evolsaur monster in your grave and special summon that target. This makes for a nice mid-game enabler once your grave is set up, either having Gefero lie in wait for your opponent to run it over, or just crash it headlong into a bigger threat to trigger it immediately, and considering the stat line, it's not hard to accomplish either. It's just a real shame that it needs to be destroyed by battle. Also, look at them! They drew Gefero in the most passive, I'm a house pet kind of way. Please do not play this card. It's a lap lizard, not a fighter. Evoltile Pluro is a level 1 monster with 200 attack and defense, and if this card you control is destroyed and sent to your grave, you can special summon an Evolsar monster from your hand. Now that's more like it. Summoning out of the hand is a bit of a pain, but Fossil Dig does exist, so if you want a particular Evolsar in hand, you're gonna be able to get it. You can even trigger this with your own destruction effects too, which adds to this card's versatility. Normal summoning this to trigger your own Torrential Tribute, for instance, is pretty funny. And it's even funnier if you can trigger multiple of them at the same time. But then I'd have to find out what the plural of Pluro is. Evoltile Megachirea is a level 1 monster with 0 attack and defense, and you contribute a reptile monster, then discard a card to special summon a level 6 or lower fire dinosaur monster from your deck. and you can banish this card from your grave, then target a Dragon Xyz monster you control with no material to attach up to 2 reptile and or dinosaur monsters with different names from your hand and or grave to that monster as material. Combine this with any other reptile and you can basically get into any of your Evolzar Xyz monsters by using this effect to summon Evolsaur Rios. Keep an eye out for that one later in the video. And on top of that, it can refresh the material of your Evolzars, critical for maintaining control of the field. Though since it only specifies Dragon Xyz monsters, you do have other options that you can recharge, the funniest of which probably being Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon. You steal some attack power, then reattach those material with Mega Chirea, and then do it all over again because it's not once per turn! Trust me, this card is mega helpful. Evoltile Odonto is a level 2 monster with 500 attack and 1200 defense, and when this card is normal summoned, you can special summon an Evolsaur monster from your hand. Short, sweet, and to the point. I like it. The level 2 doesn't really line up with our Xyz levels, but we have ways of making it all line up, and not having to jump through any additional hoops to get these effects online is actually kind of refreshing. I really feel like this monster was Odon to something here. Evoltile Yugioh is a level 2 monster with 100 attack and 2000 defense, and if this card on the field is distributed, you can special summon an Evolsaur monster from your deck. And thankfully, we've got quite a few cards on theme that tribute, so proccing this effect isn't too difficult. In fact, I'd go so far as to say that this is one of your deck's main starter cards, as summoning from the deck is one of the best ways to summon monsters, period. Not to mention the funny synergies you get when using cards like Enemy Controller. But I've gotta say, it does look a little too proud of itself for having such a good effect. In fact, it's looking a bit like a Yugioh show-off. Evoltile El Gennaro is a level 2 monster with 0 attack and defense, and when this card is tributed and sent to the grave, draw a card, then you can shuffle a dinosaur monster from your hand into the deck, then add an Evoltile monster from your deck to your hand. Now, while this is a win effect, the draw is mandatory. It's just the shuffle to search effect that's optional, which is tied to the mandatory part, so it'll work just like Yugioh. This is actually some pretty interesting hand fixing here. You get to dig for a card immediately, then you can put back what is presumably an Evolsar into your deck to get an Evoltile that might help summon it out eventually. It's certainly not as good as Yugioh, but I'm certainly not complaining. Now, is anyone gonna tell El Gennaro that it looks like it evolved from a sock puppet? Evoltile Forest is a level 2 monster with 900 attack and 300 defense, and if any number of monsters would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you contribute a reptile or dinosaur monster instead. And if this card is normal or special summoned, you can special summon an Evoltile monster from your hand or grave in face down defense position. Also, during your main phase, you can set a copy of Evo Force or Evo Instant directly from your deck, both of which are extremely powerful, each effectively letting you trade an Evoltile for an Evolsaur from your deck. The destruction protection is also pretty keen, not only because it triggers any on-tribute effects, not only because it works on any of our monsters, but also because it isn't once per turn. This is a solid piece of legacy support that really helps speed up your game plan, so I'm happy to welcome aboard this awesome Florida-branded dog to the cause. Evoltile Casenario is a level 3 monster with 1600 attack and 400 defense, and at the end of the battle phase, if this card destroyed an opponent's monster by battle, you contribute this card to special summon 2 level 6 or lower fire dinosaur monsters with the same name from your deck. Their effects are negated and are also banished during the end phase. The idea here being that this runs over something, and then it goes all the way from reptile to dragon form, all by using the summoned dinosaurs as material before they slip away into another dimension. The problem is waiting until essentially main phase 2 to benefit from this. Not to mention that using a 1600 attack stat to run things over is a tall ask, and the feel bads only get worse if you have this on your first turn. Granted, this synergizes with any tiny tokens you give your opponent, but you're still taking a huge chance with this card. In fact, I'd like to point out that Casenario is an anagram for Casino Ire, which is appropriate considering it's Gamba, and I'm gonna get mad at it. Evoltile Lagasucho is a level 3 monster with 1200 attack and 500 defense, and if this card is normal summoned, you can send an Evolsaur monster from your deck to the grave, and when this card is flipped face up, you can special summon an Evoltile monster from your deck. So you've got 2 different modes to help in different situations, though I'm not gonna lie, having to flip isn't really my jam, especially because this theme does not come with a way to support that. Oh well, relics of an older time, I suppose. Being able to set up your grave on normal summon isn't that bad, but I feel like new support has really left this form of setup in the dust, leaving us with a monster that doesn't really fit with the rest of the crew in modern day. Heck, you can even see it from their design alone. All the other Evols are posed like actual animals, but Lagasucho looks like it just put on a terrific magic show. Ta-da! Evoltile Westlow is a level 3 flip monster with 700 attack and 1900 defense, and its flip effect has you special summoning an Evolsaur monster from your deck. Oh good, more flipping. What did I just get finished talking about? True, it has a huge defense stat and gets your Evolsaurs right out of the deck, but I'm not keen on this lying around on your field, all to get a single summon when it actually does trigger, while your opponent gets to pop off uninterrupted. Once again, if we had an actual engine that facilitated flipping, I'd be singing a different tune. But even the new support doesn't feel a need to facilitate that. So I guess I'm putting a call out there for all the best brewers to put together a Prediction Princess Evol deck. Good luck. Alright, that does it for our reptiles. Now it's time for our dinosaurs. Evolsaur Volcano is a level 4 monster with 1200 attack and 1000 defense, and when this card is special summoned by the effect of an Evoltile monster, you can target an Evolsaur monster in your grave and special summon that target. But it can't declare an attack. It'll still get its effects, if any, but no battling for you. This can immediately get you into your rank 4s provided the grave's all set up, but be careful, this does miss timing, so be careful how you order your effects. You wouldn't want to summon this for Volcano value, would you? Evolsaur Pelta is a level 4 monster with 1100 attack and 2000 defense, and when this card is special summoned by the effect of an Evoltile monster, it gains 500 defense. And if this card was special summoned by the effect of an Evoltile monster, then is destroyed by battle, you can add an Evoltile monster from your deck to your hand. So you turbo this out, it becomes a huge blocker, and if it ever gets run over in battle, you can replace it with an Evoltile, which can presumably evolve back into an Evolsaur. Not terrible, but once again, with a battle destruction trigger, not the best either. And while 2500 may seem like a whopping defense stat, just about any theme with an aggressive game plan is gonna have a monster big enough to deal with it. And if it's not an aggressive deck, then defense wasn't gonna help you in the first place anyway. It tried its best, but even with the new support, don't expect interest in this card to spike. Evolsaur Diplo is a level 4 monster with 1600 attack and 800 defense, and when this card is special summoned by the effect of an Evoltile monster, you target a spell or trap card your opponent controls and destroy it. So hey, free back row removal, I've seen worse. It's like the Trap Tricks Mermelio of the theme, right down to being mandatory, but just for the last part, and this time only hitting your opponent's cards. It's a serviceable monster to get on board that bridges you into your bigger monsters, meaning it's averted my disappointing gaze, truly making this card one fine diplomat. Evolsaur Cerato is a level 4 monster with 1900 attack and 1400 defense, and if this card is special summoned by the effect of an Evoltile monster, it gains 200 attack. And if this card special summoned by the effect of an Evoltile monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can add an Evoltile monster from your deck to your hand. Now this is something I can work with. You get a relatively big body that gets you bonuses when you defeat things. It's not exactly breaking new ground, but there is something satisfying about getting a bonus when you run something over in battle. In fact, you could say it's a good boost of serotonin. Boy, that's forced. Evolsaur Rios is a level 4 monster with 1600 attack and 400 defense, and if this card is normal or special summoned, you can set an Evolutionary Bridge or Evo Singularity directly from your deck. And during your main phase, if you control this card that was either special summoned by a Fire Monster's effect or was normal summoned, you can send a Fire Reptile or Dinosaur monster from your deck to the grave, then you can make the type and level of 2 monsters on the field become the sent monster's type and level. We'll get into the cards you search off of this later, but spoilers, having access to Evo Singularity is awesome. But the real payoff is the second effect. If you can summon this while keeping another monster on field, this is where I'd like to remind you all of Megachirea, you can send a level 6 Evolsaur monster from your deck to the grave, and that gets you your big bad Evolzars. You can also send a level 4 to access the other half of your Xyz pool, but here's the kicker, it doesn't lock you into any kind of summons. So any level that you can put into the grave means that rank of Xyz is at your fingertips, so long as they can use either reptile or dinosaur material. So it's certainly not a no frills option. I mean, look at it, Rios is all frills. Evolsaur Darwino is a level 5 monster with 2200 attack and 700 defense, and when this card is special summoned by the effect of an Evoltile monster, you can have Moby jump up onto the desk and start sniffing your mic setup, because he's just a funny little guy. He's just a little dude. He's a funky little muffin, and I love him with all my heart. Evolsaur Darwino is a level 5 monster with 2200 attack and 700 defense, and when this card is special summoned by the effect of an Evoltile monster, you can target a face-up monster on the field and increase that target's level by up to 2. This is an odd inclusion, as 5 really isn't one of our magic numbers. We don't really have any on-theme rank 5s, but we can still make anything that's generic by boosting a level 3 by 2, or a 4 by 1. Or we can even boost Darwino up to 6, so we can use it as material for a rank 6 play. Though with all the other Evols you could be summoning, it's almost better to just send Darwino to the grave for Rios' effect if rank 5s are really that important to you. It might seem mean to exclude it because of a lackluster effect, but Darwin's the one who suggested the theory, we're just keeping to it. Evolsaur Elias is a level 6 monster with 100 attack and 2400 defense, and when this card is special summoned by the effect of an Evoltile monster, you can special summon a level 6 or lower fire dinosaur monster from your hand. This can help turbo out our other level 6s to get your big Evolsaurs, but it is technically generic. Though as far as level 6 and lower fire dinos go, the only theme you can pull from is Jurax, and they aren't exactly batting 1,000 right now. But it still makes for an important tool to help get our more powerful monsters into play, and it does that all by sticking its neck out for us. Evolsaur Terias is a level 6 monster with 2400 attack and 600 defense, and when this card is special summoned by the effect of an Evoltile monster, this card loses 500 attack. First time we've had a card that doesn't incentivize you to summon it by an Evoltile. What, was 2400 on a level 6 too much? No, well, it still makes for an excellent summon off of Elias, which is presumably the intended process. From that point, you either have a big beater to attack with, or you can have it act as rank 6 material. Either way, you'll be seeing this monster super often, as it'll be holding the front line with its massive jawline. Alright, now it's time for our big payoffs, the Dragon Xyz. Evolzar Dolka is a rank 4 monster with 2300 attack and 1700 defense, requiring 2 level 4 dinosaur monsters as material. When another monster's effect is activated as a quick effect, you can detach a material from this card to negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that monster. And there's no once per turn clause anywhere on this card, making it comparable to an early Appaloosa. But where the bow and the bear are a tool to help keep your board safe / keep your opponent at bay in other decks, Dolka was a format centerpiece, being one of the big payoffs to the vaunted Dino Rabbit deck. A single copy of Rescue Rabbit would summon either 2 Sabersaurus or Cabazowls, heretofore referred to as the Sneezy Hippo, and then you can fold them into a monster with a decent body that blanked 2 monster effects. In fact, it was so infamous for this that it got to cameo in Breakthrough Skill, another card that saw an outrageous amount of play for its ability to halt monster effects. And I've gotta say, it hasn't stopped being good or relevant. As it turns out, monster effects are pretty strong, and that's gotten even more important with the advent of hand traps, meaning Dolka is a great tool for insulating your plays. And like, I'm not gonna lie, it's kinda cute. Like, look, it's got those little anime fangs, the big ol' smile, they're just happy to be here, I love them. Evolzar Logia is a rank 4 monster with 2400 attack and 2000 defense, requiring 2 level 4 dinosaur monsters as material. During either player's turn, when a monster would be normal or special summoned, or a spell or trap card is activated, you can detach 2 material from this card to negate the summon or activation, and if you do, destroy that card. So not only does this complete the coverage of card effects that Dolka started, it also tacks on inherent summon negation, because why not? This was also an incredible option in Dino Rabbit, and which one you summoned would be dependent on your read of your opponent. Now, because it uses both material, it's quicker to play through, but now that we have Mega Chirea, we can actually reset this if it survives the turn, getting us another negate. This can protect our board states against evenly matched, and keep our opponent off powerful Xyz, Synchro, and Link monsters, all while being another large body that can push for game. And this one also has a mischievous little grin. It knows what it's doing. It knows it's keeping you from resolving your big $80 card. Folks, I think we might have found the perfect Yu-Gi-Oh monster. Evolzar Solda is a rank 6 monster with 2600 attack and 1000 defense, requiring 2 level 6 dinosaurs as material. This card can't be destroyed by card effects while it has Xyz material, and when your opponent special summons any number of monsters, you can detach a material from this card to destroy those monsters. It doesn't negate, so sadly you'll still have to deal with any on-summon or quick effect consequences, but once again lacking a once per turn clause, this gives you a way to interrupt your opponent's lines of play once again in devastating style. The fact that it requires 2 level 6 materials was once a hindrance. We didn't exactly have the same tools as we do today, but nowadays it's much better positioned, especially because the effect never stopped being good. I mean, if you're not sold on it now, I don't know what to tell you. Evolzar Raz is a rank 6 monster with 2500 attack and 1500 defense, requiring 2 level 6 monsters as material. Oh goodness. Your opponent can't target this card with monster effects while it has material, and when your opponent activates a card or effect, as a quick effect, you can detach 2 material from this card, or 1 effect if all of its material are reptile and or dinosaur type monsters, then target a face-up card your opponent controls and negate its effects until the end of the turn. Okay, this goes absolutely bonkers right out of the gate. Not only did they make this last one generic, so any deck on enough bestials can access it, it's also an answer to basically any on-board card that can be targeted. Heck, it doesn't even have to negate the card it's responding to. Absolutely banana pants. And on theme, it's even better because you get to do this twice with the added bonus of recharging its material with Mega Charea. It really is just the thing to give this deck a little bit of razzle-dazzle. Alright, that's all of our creatures, now it's time for the spells and traps. Evo Force is a normal spell card that tributes an Evoltile monster to special summon an Evolsaur monster from your deck, and it's treated as being special summoned by the effect of an Evoltile monster. This makes Force a kind of test tiger for the theme, giving you a way to bypass the intended mechanic of the deck while still getting you the end results you want. And because it tributes, it works especially well with our good friend Yugioh, cause then you'll get the second Evolsaur with its effect. To a lesser extent, we can get some value when tributing El Gennaro, but it's really the Noodle Dragon we want to be comboing with. Factor in that we can search this card off of Forest, and this card is an Evo Force to be reckoned with. Evo Diversity is a normal spell card that adds an Evoltile or Evolsaur monster from your deck to your hand. Now, we have all the ways in the world to search dinosaur monsters, but not so much reptiles, which makes this card invaluable for getting those into rotation. Like, it's literally diversifying your lineup. This card is so exactly what it says on the tin, you could use it as an example on the TV tropes page. Evo Miracle is a quick play spell card that targets a monster that was special summoned by the effect of an Evoltile monster. This turn, it can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. This is interesting. With few exceptions, this is only going to affect your Evolsaurs, and very rarely are they meant to be the vanguards of your deck. Giving protection like this is a great way to keep your investments safe, but you can't summon your Evolzars with Evoltile effects. And even then, it only keeps you safe from destruction. Every other kind of removal or interaction still messes with it. For its time, I can see it being useful, but if you're building for the modern meta, don't expect this card to miraculously save you. Evo Karma is a continuous spell card, and when any number of monsters are special summoned by the effect of an Evoltile monster you control, your opponent can't activate cards or effects. Now this reads like a Magical Meltdown or Branded Lost. Being able to force through your on-summon effects seems nice, especially since you invested so much to make it work, but check out the wording here. It has to be an Evoltile monster you control. This means that if you summon something off of the effect of Yugioh, Karma won't apply because it's going to be in the graveyard, and spoilers, that's the best one. Seriously, design is dropping the ball on this one, but I chalk it up to karmic vengeance. Someone had to pay for the creation of the abomination known as Miscellaneous Source. Evo Price is a continuous spell card, and once per turn, if a monster is special summoned by the effect of an Evoltile monster, except during the damage step, you can target a card on the field and destroy that target. This one's a bit nicer, though it means you won't be able to trigger this off of Gefro, or either Pluro or Westlow if they're destroyed by battle. Though this can also be a good enabler for Pluro if you don't have any other good targets for price. If this was part of the searchable pool of cards our new support got us, I'd actually encourage you play a single copy just to expand your options. But as it is now, I don't think the opportunity cost is worth the price. Primordial Soup is a continuous spell card, and once per turn during your main phase, you can shuffle up to 2 Evolsaur monsters from your hand into the deck, then draw the same number of cards. So like with our Sock Puppet, this puts your dinos back into your deck so you can summon them with effects like Yugioh. But here's the rub. If all of our effects summoned Evolsars from the deck, this would be universally good. But what if you shuffle away all your dinos and you draw Odonto? You've effectively traded out one brick for another, and because you shuffle then draw, there's no guarantee that you won't draw into the same cards you wanted to get rid of. This is another piece of early card design that seems good on the surface, but gets progressively worse the more you think about it. Kind of like the Primordial Soup itself, now that I think about it. Like, in the beginning, life was created. This had made many people very angry, and has been widely regarded as a bad move. Evolutionary Bridge is a normal trap card, and when a monster you control is targeted for an attack, you can target an Evoltile monster in your grave and special summon that target, then switch the attack target to that monster and conduct a damage calculation. Now, this card is what makes Gefro even a little bit playable, because with it, Bridge saves one of your monsters in battle, then forces the battle destruction of Gefro, getting you that Evolsaur monster from your grave. And with Rios, you can actually search this. But despite that, it is still predicated on your opponent attacking, and if you're setting it with Rios, then now it's telegraphed. Rios' other search target just feels infinitely more proactive and useful, making this card easily the worst card in the entire Bridge archetype. Evo Branch is a normal trap card that targets a face-up reptile monster you control, destroys it, and special summons an Evoltile monster from your deck in face-down defense position. Now, this doesn't get you further up the evolutionary chain, but like in the card art, has you swapping tracks. Because it destroys, this triggers the effect of Pluro, but can also trigger any reptiles on destruction effect too. The payoff, though, kinda bites because it summons in face-down defense position, so in a vacuum, the only real useful targets are going to be Legosucho or Weslow. Because of this, the most interesting feature of the card is the implication that aliens were involved in the creation of these monsters. Look at the background. See that strange creature back there? Huge alien vibes. Guess they're tired of being reptiles and wanted to try something new. And hey, more power to them. Evo Instant is a normal trap card that tributes a reptile monster to special summon an Evolsaur monster from your deck. Hey, that's something! Unlike Force, you don't get to treat the summon as if it was by an Evoltile, but it can still tribute face-down monsters like Evo Force. The upside is that it tributes reptiles, not Evoltiles, so if you're stuck with an off-theme monster, this can still get you into an Evolsaur body. And if activating Evo Force would be a bad move, but would be good on a following turn, and the fact that this is a trap card helps you get around that. Not to mention that this is also searchable by Force. And you know what that means? You get to trigger more Yugioh effects. It may not be an instant include, but it is close. Evo Singularity is a normal trap card that targets an Evoltile and an Evolsaur monster in your grave, then special summons an Evolzar Xyz monster from your extra deck, and if you do, attach those monsters to it as Xyz material. Yeah, so this card just goes beyond wild, holy cow. All you need is one of your reptiles and one of your dinos, and you just get to have one of the most prolifically powerful control cards ever printed. And it's only gotten better now that Roz is around, because now we have a fourth incredible target for this card. And the cherry on top? Singularity is not once per turn. You can resolve multiples of these, one after the other. If you exhaust the material of one Evolzar, you can immediately Singularity into another one and keep things going. And now we get to search it with Rios, who can easily set up the conditions to make this card live. This is easily the singularly most powerful Speller Trap card in the theme. Okay, now that you know all the cards, let me show you a little combo that ends on a lot of negates. For this combo, you're going to want to have Rios, Yugioh, and Force. A 3-card combo may seem a little daunting, but remember that every one of these monsters can be searched by Evo Diversity, and in the case of Rios, Fossil Dig. Start off by normal summoning Force, using its effect to special summon Yugioh from your hand face down. Then you'll use Force's second effect, setting Evo Force from your deck. You'll activate the spell, tributing Yugioh, and on resolution, you'll summon Elias from deck. On a new chain link, you'll activate Yugioh first, chain blocking it with Elias. When it resolves, Elias will summon Rios from your hand, and this is where things get a little tricky. Have Yugioh summon either a level 4 or 6 Evolsar from your deck. Then on a new chain, Rios' effect will activate, setting Evo Singularity from your deck. Now we get to use Rios' level modulation effect, and which one we choose will depend on which Evolsar we summoned with Yugioh. If you summoned a level 4, have Rios send a level 4 from deck to grave, then change Elias and Force's level to 4, at which point you can summon any combination of Dolka and Logia out of those 4 material. If you summoned a 6, have Rios send a 6 from deck to grave, using it to change Force and Rios' level to 6. Now you can summon any combination of Roz or Solda. Unfortunately, because Rios has to change the type or level of the monster targeted, we're stuck with either building one of 2 kinds of fields. Having Roz's on-field negation and Solda's summon destruction, or Dolka's monster effect negation and Logia's spell, trap, and inherent summon negation. However, because over the course of that turn we sent the reptile-type Yugioh and the dinosaur Evolsar from deck to grave, our Evo Singularity will be live the second it turns over to our opponent's turn, giving us access to any of our Evolzar Xyz monsters. So really, it's a lot more flexible than it might seem. Alright, that's all the Evol cards, but what do we do with them? Control seems pretty fitting for the archetype where every extra deck monster has some form of negation, so our goal is to make them as early and often as possible, then fill the rest of our deck with haymakers to close things out before they can recover. So what can we play to help them out? While our deck is only a third dino, we actually play fairly well with evolution pill cards, specifically double evolution pill. The non-dino we banish can be a reptile, and now we have access to Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, one of the best main deck monsters ever printed. Transcendental Evolution Pill Beta is also a huge pickup here. Not only can it trigger Yugioh if we get it onto the field, it'll be pretty easy to summon out our Transcendrakes, which all have some pretty bonkers effects. It also happens to incentivize us to play Rescue Rabbit, and boy is that a nostalgia trip. We're also in a good place to play Misk, as not only does it protect our Evolsaurs to keep our combos going, it also gets our Animadorned Archosaur, which gets us an Evolution Pill. Agave Dragon has a strange amount of utility in this theme. While the burn might not be a lot since our only dragons are the Evolzars, it is a way to win in time. You'll probably see a lot more value from the attack boosting effect though, and with a few extra attack points added in here or there, it can be just that little bit you need to get over your opponent's monsters. And don't forget, it checks all graves, so if your opponent has any of the card types listed, make sure you keep it in mind. Some obvious support cards include Fossil Dig to get the right Evolsaur in hand, and Zeus because we play so many Xyzs. However, an oft-overlooked one is Drill Driver Vespinato. If your Dolka or Logia are spent, you can turn them into a Vespinato to help you deal some piercing battle damage, and it floats into Force and Rios if your opponent gets rid of it. While teching in the whole theme might be a bit excessive, make sure you keep a Hazy Flame Basilatris in the extra deck. Even though you're not likely to get the bonus effects, it's still banishing removal for the field and grave, which cannot be overlooked. Though I would like to note that Hazy Flame Hydra is a dinosaur and can attach another Hydra from grave with its effect, meaning you could have a Roz with 4 material. Just saying. As for a silly tech pick, Goka, the Pyre of Malice, has a lot of incidental synergy here. It works well with Pluro because you can pop it as part of the summon effect, thus getting a summon from hand, and it tributes other fire monsters to gain attack, potentially getting big enough on its own to run over a trouble monster, while also being an enabler for Yugioh. And to round it all out, it's also level 6 in case you need emergency Roz material, or you can use it to go into cards like Utopia Beyond, Wallow, founder of the Drudge Dragons, Dampier Vampire Sheridan, Constellar Ptolemy M7, or as the third material to make Fairy Knight Ingunar, an entire board bounce that can't be responded to. Super Poly is super cool, right? And that's all I have to say about Evols. With the new support, this deck has a robust engine for going first, blocking off all of your opponent's options, then sweeping in for the kill right afterwards. Its going second game plan is a little muddled, but with the wealth of options afforded to it by its dino cousins, I think the future of this theme is looking bright, though I can't wait to see where it evolves from here. But now, I want to hear what you all have to say. Are Evols on fire? Or do you prefer an alternate theory of evolution? And which one is your favorite? Roz's all-black exterior is pretty cool, but I can't deny how endearing Casenario is. Let me know in the comments, and if you haven't already, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe so we can hit that 53k goal by the end of April, and share this video with someone you know who loves Yu-Gi-Oh! It really does a lot to help me out. Today's episode was brought to you in part by Buyee. Make sure to use my link in the description or pinned comment to get that 2,000 yen coupon code when signing up for an account, and don't forget to use the other coupon that gets you up to 80% off international shipping fees when shopping with Mercari. This episode was also brought to you by my lovely patrons, including this month's illustrious Quasar Commander Green Knight, Nebula Navigator's 3rd Dynasty, Ada Basilisk, Adam Zajdel, Andrew Newman, Avi Chali, Kane Senpai, Cameron Berg, Chibi Gohan, Colin Todd, Danny Bound, Eric, Frankie, Genesis Yu-Gi-Oh!, Gloomba331, Great Big Pillock, Hairbear, Harry the Ominous Benefactor, Howling Zangetsu, Iskander711, Jester Designs, John Manji, Jordan, Julius Sneezer, Manor Charge, Marluxia Zagirl, Nathan Vig, Panther J, Rebel King Lucifer, RJ the Jank Monarch, Ruxith Sarani, Sammy Haim, Sir Knight JCB, Sophie, apparently, the Fresh Prince of Conair, the Charizard Flame, The Wizard Moose and Xander Wolfensberger, Cosmic Crusaders Ariel Kersey, Bear Sharktopus Studios, Beluga Masta, Chaz Ghost, Chips Cooney, Chris Kessler, Corbinisms, Drachenwald, Emony, Eva Padilla, Give Cruel the Belt, you dumb bastards, Herbal D, Inblink, Kale the Dragon, Carp, King Scarlet Yu-Gi-Oh!, Lord Whoop-de-Doo, Manga Pages, Marion James E. Picata, Matt Simmons, Michael Shimabukuro, Nitromo, Shizuka Nijimura, Shooting Star 3300, Star-Lord 777, Stephen Williamson, The Legendary Raven, Tucker Ordorn, and Zaldreka, as well as the wonderful Starlight Explorers you see on screen now. If you'd like to help me in my journey to cover all of Yu-Gi-Oh's archetypes, get your custom cards reviewed by me, and be a part of these credits, make sure you check out the link to my Patreon down below, as well as clicking the join button for my YouTube membership. And if you'd like to see some more dangerous dinos, check out this video I made covering Transcendrakes. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.